The world of cyber threats is constantly evolving, with new threats appearing almost every day. Here at HPE, we want to provide you with the tools and knowledge you need to keep your data secure from unauthorized access or compromise. And, if a security incident should occur, to recover quickly and efficiently with minimal downtime or data loss, helping you turn potential cyber incidents into non-events. Keeping your HPE Alletra Storage MP B10000 system secure consists of three main focus areas. 1. Protecting the array against unauthorized access, and we've published an administrator's hardening guide to help you with that. Number 2. Protecting the data with immutable backups through HPE's virtual log snapshots and published data protection architectures. And number 3. Detecting security events in real time by working with your security teams to ensure that all security events are pushed to the Security Operations Center tools, such as security information and event management software, or extended detection and response platforms to help detect suspicious activity like unauthorized access attempts or attempted destructive actions. It's this last point we're going to focus on today. So in this demo, we'll walk through how to configure your B10000 array to send security Syslog events to an SIEM, helping storage administrators and security teams detect potential threats in real time and provide an audit log to assist in any forensic investigations. The B10000 has two Syslog outputs that can be configured: the general Syslog, which covers most of the operational data, and the security Syslog, which covers anything that could impact the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of the array itself, or the data it stores. The security Syslog can act as an early warning system that suspicious activity is occurring on your array, and also provide valuable audit data to assist with any post-incident investigations. For this example, I'll be using Graylog Open, which is an open source, SSPL licensed log management tool, but the same principles apply whatever platform you choose to ingest your log data. So, let's dive in and see how it's done. As we can see, I currently don't have any Syslog servers configured. But as all the security Syslog messages must be sent using transport layer security to ensure confidentiality, the first thing we need to do is create a client certificate for the array to communicate with the Syslog server. From the Array Certificates menu, we can use the wizard to create a new certificate signing request for the security Syslog service. As the array will be acting as the client in this conversation, we'll choose Syslog Set Client and enter the device information. Once the signing request has been generated, we can take that information and input it into our certificate authority to be signed. Generally, this should be the same certificate authority that signed your Syslog server certificates. In this example, I'm using EasyRSA, which is a very lightweight certificate authority I use for testing. But the same principles apply regardless of your CA. Just ensure that the certificate is signed with the client role, as the array will be acting as the client in the communication with the Syslog server. Once the request has been signed, we can install that certificate back on the array, pasting the certificate data we just received into the top box and the root certificate authority or full authority chain, if you're using intermediate CAs, into the second box. Next, we need to import the root certificate into the Syslog security server role, so the array can trust the Syslog server it's talking to. This needs to be done by the CLI, so here I'm just logging in via SSH and using the command import cert syslog sec server with the CA flag to specify it's a CA certificate, and standard in to allow me to paste the data. Once complete, we run the show cert command to verify that the CA certificate has been installed in the syslog sec server role. So now we need to configure a listener on the Syslog server to ingest our incoming security data. Again, I'll mention I'm using Graylog here, but there are many other options out there that will ingest your log data. As long as it can handle Syslog and support Syslog with TLS, then similar principles should apply. I'm not going to go into the specifics of installing and configuring Graylog, but essentially what I'm doing here is setting up a listener on a TCP port at port 6514, which is the standard for Syslog with TLS. Telling the listener where to look for the Syslog server certificate and private key, and telling it where to look for a list of trusted clients. Set the time zone and hit launch. The Syslog server is now ready and waiting for any data. So back on the array, we simply need to log in, head over to the remote Syslog settings, enable the service, and configure the Syslog server's IP address or fully qualified domain name, along with the port we specified on the listener. Once saved, it takes a few moments for the indicator to go green, and this is just the initial handshake occurring in the background. Once it's green, it should be firing away. Over on the Syslog server, we can see that messages are coming in. I've set up a basic search to only show me the Syslog connection test message, so we know it's working, audit log records, which will record any change on the array, and authentication failures. Now, the B10000 sends quite a lot of information to the Syslog server, so you'll want to define your own filters so you're only seeing the information relevant to you. And you'll want to set up events and alerts based on those security messages. I'm not going to cover that here as there are many SIEM vendors and they're all going to have their own way of doing things, so I'd advise you to refer to the vendor documentation. In the background, my session on the array has timed out, and I'm attempting to log in with incorrect credentials. If we receive a flood of these, it could be an indication of someone trying to gain unauthorized access. The message shows the source IP address highlighted here, which could be very useful for tracking down the suspect. I've gone one step further here and set up a dashboard to monitor for failed authentication attempts and to visualize it in a simple graph to allow the user to see spikes in failed login attempts over time. Syslog data can be an invaluable source of information to provide insight into what's going on in your network, from catching brute force login attempts in their tracks to auditing user actions on the array to help determine the root cause of some destructive actions. While the example shown here is only a very basic idea of what can be done with Syslog data, there are so many more possibilities of workflows for alerting or piping the data to another security tool, such as a security orchestration, automation and response tool to automate responses in the face of a security incident. And by ingesting data from all available sources, Syslog data can give you a full, holistic view of the network, helping security teams to identify potential threats early and take action before they become incidents.